Good evening. Respected past presidents present here physically and virtually, seniors, Vice President Chirag Doshi, Joint Secretary Anand Bhatia, my colleague, Treasurer Zubin, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to this first lecture meeting for the year 22-23, beginning on a very auspicious note. Welcome. You will all agree that there could have not been a more auspicious day to hold this meeting, because tomorrow is a Guru Purnima day, and we have a very enlightened Guruji himself present here today to address on the topic that is most relevant: spirituality in professional life. There are quite some misconceptions about spirituality, and it is often mixed up with religion. But spirituality is something very different, as we all know. What it means is protecting your dharma dutifully. And dharma doesn't mean religion. What it means is doing one's assigned work with the right conscience. So in terms of today's topic, Swamiji is going to help us resolve this continuous strife which we all live in the current times, whether it is possible to practice spirituality really in professional life. Are these contradiction of terms, or they are complementary to each other? Whether one can have a satisfaction of living a conscientious professional life, practicing one's profession, or does it make it impossible with many temptations to have a quick fix solutions, immediate reaches, and instant success? Swamiji will guide us with these answers. For those who are not familiar with the activities of BCAS, this topic and Swamiji's presence here may come as a very pleasant surprise. But I feel it would be right for me to brief you all on what BCAS really stands for. BCAS which is Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, is a 73-year-old voluntary organization of chartered accountants, one of the largest of its own kind, which has its prime motto as knowledge acquisition through right means, through the value-based education, to create an ethos and culture of professionals who do have that conscience to stand by what they are certifying, because they are the mirror of the society. It was established just 6 days after ICI and has more than 8,000 members. Its knowledge dissemination average is about 250,000 man-hours every year. Its publications with contribution by volunteers, and this is a completely volunteering organization, who are experts in the field, have been much in demand. The journal published every month by the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society is one of the top-rated, very well-respected publication, which is widely read across the industry, profession, and bureaucrats. BCAS, over the years, through its knowledge dissemination, dedicated efforts of the volunteers and networking platform, has been responsible in creating several domain experts and leaders. And I'm very happy some of those leaders who have created these leaders, they are themselves here. It has presence on all prominent social media and has substantial following there. I urge you to reap maximum benefits through participation in the several activities of the BCS. You may please visit the BCS website, www.bcsonline.org, where you would find that it is not only the profession, but also on the social spheres, also on discharging as social responsibilities, and also creating this spiritual ethos. BCS has been taking quite a lead. So with the auspicious blessings of Swamiji, may I now request Gracie to present a memento to Swamiji. I must acknowledge and thank Gracie because she has been single-handedly pursuing this. And with the result of her volunteering and efforts, we have presence of Swamiji here. May I also do another pleasant task through the very auspicious hands of Swamiji. We have Raman Jokhakar, the editor of BCS, who have completed 5 years of a stellar work, which has been acknowledged and respected all across. So may I request Swamiji to present a memento to Raman Jokhakar. Raman, the journal achieved a new height under your leadership and volunteering with your incisive editorials and innovations in different articles. I feel this contribution would not go unnoticed, unacknowledged. People would remember you for a long time. Thank you so much. So, big hand to Raman. May I now request Chirag to formally introduce Swamiji. Thank you.
It's my honor and privilege today to introduce Swamiji. Swamiji is not new to us. In 2013, we had a leadership camp of 3 nights, 4 days at Chinmaya Mission, and we got a good time. Members got a good time to spend with Swamiji for almost 3 nights, 4 days. So that is when we had one more time. We had Swamiji over here, was under the D.N. Dalal Memorial Lecture, where we had Swamiji addressing us once again on the BCS platform. And also in our core group membership, we have a lot of people who have been inspired by your thoughts, Swamiji. So with this, I would like to give a formal introduction about Swamiji. Swamiji leads the Chinmaya Mission, Mumbai at Worli. Swami Swatvanandji is one of the most dynamic leaders of Chinmaya Mission. Currently posted at Chinmaya Mission, Mumbai West. He completed the Vedant course from Powai from 1998 to 2000 after his graduation in commerce and software engineering. So that's also, I think, another blend, Swamiji, commerce and software engineering. He has been serving Chinmaya Mission, Mumbai since 2000. He expounds the philosophy of Advait, Vedant through the talks on the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and other texts of Vedanta and Bhakti through camps, mediation, retreats, interactive sessions, and discussions for even youth and adults both. Children love him dearly and look forward for his annual summer camps on various themes of spirituality, India, Hindu culture, etc. He inspires the youth with dynamic spirituality, encourages them to think and question on various mediums like theater plays, tracks, outdoor experimental learning programs, music, etc. are used by him. He has also been taking the youth empowerment program ahead, which is a value-based leadership program for youth who wants to serve the nation and culture, where youth are trained for 3 months and then they serve our country for another 9 months. Several corporates like Piramal's, Reliance, Mahindra, Tata, Toyota, PwC, etc. have been addressed by him. He holds weekly discussion groups on Bhagavad Gita for some of the top industrialists of India. He is also a playwright and has written and directed 2 theatrical performances. Adrashya, Quest for the Unseen, based on Saraswati civilization and developed India, was written and directed by him in 2009. 9 shows of this has been performed by Chinmaya Youth Kendra, Mumbai, in Pune, Mumbai, Allahabad, Chennai, and a lot of other places. Just like that, a play based on Bhagavad Gita in the life of Ananda family and how they discover harmony by applying principles of Gita was written and directed by him in 2015. 4 shows of the same has been performed in Mumbai and Chennai. He has also conceptualized and executed first outdoor Vedantic vision park called Chinmaya Pradeep, based on the life, vision, and work of Swami Chinmayananda. It is one of his kind outdoor park which also exhibits the essence of Hindu culture, Gita, Upanishads in a unique and innovative way. His simplicity, foresight, peaceful nature, and a balanced approach endear him to everyone. So with this, I would request Swamiji to take the stage and address our audience. Thank you.
Experiences come one after the other. Swami Chinmayanand ji कहते थे, life is a series of problems and challenges. Every minute there is some problem or challenge waiting to happen. We don't have to ask. Problems and challenges are given to us free of cost. And today's life is much more complex. With all the development of technology and science and management and everything, is it not that our parents, grandparents, they were much more happier? They were working more hard also. Still they were happier. They had more holistic life. They had much more time for the family. And today with so much development, what has happened? Stress, worry, tension, anxiety, depression, suicides, drugs, alcohol, everything is on the increase. So at such times is when we need to understand how spiritual knowledge will
play a big role in our lives.
Specifically here
it is spirituality in professional life. Like Nihir said, many people think that spirituality and professional life can't go together, and the confusion is equated with religion. So one thinks that spirituality is after professional life, post-retirement plan. So let us see now. PowerPoint नहीं चल रहा है चल रहा है
Sound is echoing.
So Swami Chinmayanand used to say, spirituality is not a way to look at certain things. It is a certain way to look at all things.
So it is not limited to religion, rituals, temples, prasad. That is one part of spirituality. So spirituality is a way to look at everything. It's a certain holistic vision of life. And it is not necessary that a person who is spiritual has to be following rites, rituals, etc. They may also follow. If you see in the Gita, it's very interesting. The qualities of a perfect master, Sthita Prajna, qualities of a devotee, qualities of a sannyasi, qualities of a person who has gone beyond the 3 gunas of the mind. In none of these qualities, it is written that that person has to do religious rituals. The qualities of that person are values and certain attitudes in which they live anchored. Rituals will help that person in one way. There are other methods to cultivate also. And so spirituality is a vision. It is not some actions alone. One cannot say that when I go to temple, I am spiritual. At other times, I am non-spiritual. Because even if you see the word spiritual, I'm not even going into Sanskrit yet. I will go into it in some time. What is the meaning of spiritual? One who has the spirit inside is spiritual. By spirit, I mean the Atma, not any other spirit. Because there are some people who think the more spirit they have, the more spiritual they are. Each of us, are we just a collection of the body, mind, intellect? No, there is a spirit, there is a spark of life in us. That one who is having is a spiritual person. And so that vision that I am not just this finite entity, I am something larger. One who operates out of that, that person is having a holistic vision. And one who operates to live from that awareness, that person is spiritual. So it's a vision of holistic growth and transformation through managing our mind and managing our own life. So it is not divorced from life. It does not tell us to run away. In fact, Arjun wanted to run away. What did Bhagavan tell him? Do your duty. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. And many people think that if I study the Gita, then I will lose interest in life. And some people say, घर में महाभारत मत रखो क्योंकि उस महाभारत रखोगे तो महाभारत हो जाएगी. But they keep so many other killer novels and all kinds of other things in their house. That murders don't happen in their house. महाभारत रखोगे तो महाभारत पढ़ोगे तो समझ में तो आ जाएगा. How can we learn to live in a dharmic way and prevent wars? So it is not divorced from life, it permeates whole life. That is what Vedanta says. See, I'm talking from Vedanta standpoint. Vedanta doesn't say that only sometime in a day I can be spiritual. Every single thing is influenced by our attitude, and spiritual vision, spiritual attitude, and spiritual action, they all are in alignment. And so it is that from childhood, that samskar of spirituality, when it is there, it helps the person. So it's a subjective science. See, adhi means inside, atma means the self. So adhyatma means the science of the self. Should we not know about ourselves before we go out into the world and start achieving anything? Mukesh Bhai was sharing some points with me about what are certain types of issues that people do face in as CAs. So one of the things he said was that people pass the exam also. To all of those who clear CA, the percentage is so less, the number of people who have to pass, they are very rare breed. Not everybody passes. And sometimes so many attempts and still they don't pass. So there are people who pass and who are practicing successfully, and still they are wondering, what am I doing? What is the purpose of life? Why? Because I came to know many things about a subject, about how to handle, how to audit books, how to reconcile the bank statement. So many things I come to know. But what about my self-audit? Who am I? What is my body, mind, intellect? Why am I here? What is life about? Those things, how will one know? Does the school teach us? Does anybody give us education about how to handle our emotions, our anger, our attachments, how to improve concentration, how to overcome fears, how to get out of inhibitions? Nobody teaches. What is my true potential? Does the school even tell me that? Forget Atma. My Swadharma, who I am, what I am made for. Does the school education tell us that much? One child, he came back from the school. So the daddy asked him, Beta, do you like to go to school? He said, yes, daddy, I like to go to school and I like to come back also. What happens in between, I don't like. How much of information is stuffed into the mind of that child? And that child, if you think about it, small child goes to the school, is so enthusiastic, happy, joyous, bubbling, going with so much energy. After he finishes 20 years of schooling, when he comes out of the college after graduation, how is the mind? Scared. टेंस्ड, नर्वस, जॉब मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा, अभी कोविड सिचुएशन है एंड ले ऑफ बहुत सारा कर दिया, क्या करेंगे, इकोनॉमी इज गोइंग थ्रू डिफिकल्टी, वॉर्स हो रहा है सब जगह पे, ऑयल प्राइसेस बढ़ गए, नाउ जीएसटी इज इंक्रीजिंग ऑन बेसिक थिंग्स मोर नाउ, अभी क्या होने वाला है कुछ पता नहीं. So much uncertainty, tension, stress. So what did education do? Made me more nervous rather than equipping me with strength. And that's why spiritual knowledge is very, very crucial. Suppose a patient does not take the medicine that the patient has to take. Will that patient recover? Doesn't take the food that one has to take. Will that patient have energy? Each one of us is going through a disease. In Vedanta, we call it as bhavarog, the constant thirst to become something. And no matter what we become, we still feel unhappy, incomplete. Because somebody else is better than me. I want to reach there. Then when I reach there, then somebody else is more better. This rat race goes on. So I read, in the world of rat race, even if you win, you still remain a rat, always afraid of a cat, hiding below a mat. Continuously, this fear, insecurity goes on. Now, how does a person live a life happily? The solution is spiritual knowledge. But this solution one rejects, saying, don't bring spirituality. This is a secular country. This is a professional organization. This is a non-religious body. Don't bring all this. But Swamiji, Shanti nahi mil rahi hai. When somebody went to Swami Chinmaya, he was coming from the airport and one person went to receive him. He said, Swamiji, Shanti chahiye. And Gurudev was in his wit, in elements. He said, I left her in customs and came just now. You should have told, I would have brought her. How can somebody give Shanti to us? We don't want to apply anything. We want to reject the solution that is there as for our problem. Apart from that, you do anything. You tell them, you go to the spa. Okay, I will go immediately. I will do the booking. I go to the spa, go to some Ananda spa, go to some Jindal somewhere here, there. Go wherever you want. But root cause, if we don't handle, we are finished. What will we keep doing? Go in the rat race and keep getting burnt out. So it is a knowledge of this truth. Who I am as a person, I should know. Then who I am as a supreme being, that I will know later. So it's the art of living every moment with clarity, why I am here, with confidence that I can face challenges, and with this courage that let any challenges come, I will overcome. I have that inner strength, I will deal with it. If that is not there, then we will face life only become victims. Even in professional life, don't you think that if competition is more, much more spiritual need is there? How is it possible to succeed without this? And who gives us this confidence? Any business school gives us that confidence. It's very interesting. Did Shankaracharya ji go to an ISB or an IIM? Did Gautam Buddha do any management course? Nothing. But the institutions they have established are running for thousands of years. Vivekananda ji, he was only a BA. And at 20 years of age, he reached Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's feet. At 32 years, he dropped his body. In 1893, on September 11, he addressed the World Parliament of Religions, and 1902, he dropped his body. 9 years' time. And Ramakrishna Mission today is such a worldwide organization doing so much service. Why? There is a research which is done. The longest standing institutions in the world are spiritual institutions, and then comes the army. And they found that what is the reason? There's American research you can find on the net. They found that the reason is the basis of both these is selflessness. Where there is selflessness, there the institutions are the longest standing. People serving there have maximum satisfaction and unfoldment. And hence, this is the power of spirituality. It helps to break out of our shell. Otherwise, we live in a shell. So much fear one has, so much of insecurity, so many thoughts we have. No, I can't do this, I can't do that. When was it that you last broke out of one inhibition? Think about it. Ask. Spirituality tells us to break out of inhibitions, encourages us. Face your fears. Who teaches us to face fears? When fear happens, what happens to us? We run. The first acronym of fear is that. What is it? Forget everything and run. When any problems comes, who has that strength to face directly is a hero. But one wants to pass on the buck to somebody, escape from it, do something else. Arjun was scared. The knowledge that Bhagwan gave him finally made him courageous. That despondent, dejected Arjun in the beginning of the Gita became so dynamic by the end of it. What changed? Did Bhagwan make any change outside? Did he say, भाई अर्जुन तुम आ जाओ, दुर्योधन तुम आ जाओ, आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट हम कुछ तो कर लेते हैं आप दोनों के बीच में, ये वॉर नहीं चाहिए भाई, तुम जरा दुर्योधन को थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा खिला दो कुछ, तो he can drop the war? Nothing. Bhagwan gave him the knowledge, made him empowered from inside. That is spirituality. It turns us from victims to victors. And everyone can practice it here and now. There is no appropriate time for it. People ask, when should we begin the spiritual knowledge? It should have already been there by now. You know, when one person asked Swamiji, what is the right time for introducing spiritual knowledge for my child? Gurudev said, in the womb. Already you are late. In the womb. In our culture, if you see, when a girl becomes pregnant, they tell her to read the scriptures, be in satsang, keep her mind healthy, happy, because the samskar will influence the child. And hence, one simple exercise here. What do you observe? Those who have been with me and done this exercise, restrain Maun Vrat. Rest of them can say. What do you see? All of you are experts. Fatafat batao. 7 plus 3 is 11. Then 10 into 20, 210. Okay. So how many equations are here? 10. How many are right? How many are wrong? Where does our attention go? 8 are right, 2 are wrong, but our attention goes to wrong. Not that we should not notice. As auditors and as CAs, our job is to identify. But the point is, focus in life has to be more on the positive. Then only one grows. Most of the time, our mind is programmed to find faults. So we find faults with ourselves also, we find faults with others also, and that becomes a mindset. Sometimes if there is no fault, we start getting doubts about ourselves. ये ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? कुछ तो होगा गड़बड़, कुछ तो mistake है यहाँ पर. So spirituality gives us that vision of focusing more on the positive, because what is the focus, that will flourish. That's a simple law of the mind. What we focus on, that will flourish. If we focus more on the positive, we will become positive people. Even if you see our news, our media and everything, why is everything a breaking news? Why can't it be making news, Baba? अब बहुत हो गया breaking. जब आया था तब breaking कभी-कभी breaking होता था. अब 24 घंटा breaking ही होता है. Now breaking has lost its value. So now they have to create something more sensational, though it doesn't end. There are so many countries where they put positive news first. They highlight those because that creates the opinion, the mindset of the people. So in the Gita, Bhagavan tells Arjun, the last verse of the Gita is very beautiful. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, where there is a visionary leader like Bhagavan Krishna, and where there is this dynamic man of action who is Arjun, Tatra Shrihi Vijayo Bhutihi. There is success, fame, glory, prosperity, all this. And Sanjay says this, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. This is my firm opinion. Meaning, only spiritual knowledge alone is required for great sadhu sannyasis who want to withdraw. Only material pursuit without spiritual knowledge will lead us to stress, worry, tension, all that. Combination. That is the Gita chariot. How many of you have Gita chariot in your house? Any picture or a chariot? Few people have. In earlier days, many people used to have. And the reason is this is a symbol of holistic growth, that we need spiritual knowledge plus material success. Both are very important. And it also is an entire depiction of the path. Control the senses, rein the mind, have clarity in the intellect, sublimate the ego, and you reach the destination. What today people say, what you visualize, that you will realize. What is your goal? What is your purpose? You write, you draw it and put it on the vision board, and then you see it every day. It was there embedded in our culture. Every day we used to see that Gita chariot and remind ourselves, this is the means, this is the goal. So this why spiritual knowledge is very important in professional life also. Swami Chinmaya used to say, success is a tribute that life pays to excellence. When we have this excellence of mind, then success will follow. And with success will come happiness. What should come first? Happiness should come first or success should come first? Pakka. There's a excellence is the means. Then it will lead to success. So many times we think when I become successful, then I will become happy. Sean Aker, he did some research of 2,000 people. He's a professor in Harvard, I think. And he wrote a book called The Happiness Advantage. And his entire research is for this much, that when people think that success will lead me to happiness, it is a flawed notion. Happiness will lead to success. If your mind is calm and happy, your performance is better and you will do well and you will naturally succeed and you will enjoy that success. It's a very nice one. His videos also are there on the YouTube, The Happiness Advantage. So based on the Gita, we made this formula. This is called success formula, which again mathematically is a wrong formula. S minus S is equal to S plus S. But I write these formulas and make them wrong because then people wake up. Wrong formula. Otherwise, sometimes in satsang, they nicely sleep. So what is success without stress? We need skill plus strength. Skills everyone has. Each one's skill may differ from person to person, but the inner strength of the mind, inner spiritual strength, holistic growth, that is an important aspect that is common to everyone. If strength is not there, we will go through a lot of stress and worries. One 5-year-old boy, he went to Swamiji and he said, Swamiji, I don't have peace of mind. Swamiji looked at him and said, my dear, when I was 5 years old, I didn't know I have a mind. Just imagine 5-year-old boy saying, Swamiji, I don't have peace of mind. But today's life has become like that. So now we will see how to invoke this strength and the spiritual knowledge in our daily life through a formula called higher. Now, if we want spectacular achievement in life, what we need is spectacular source of inspiration. And so it is important to have what is the source of inspiration. A high goal can be a very, very important tool to inspire us. If our goals are ordinary, only ordinary potential will manifest. That's why Dr. Abdul Kalam said very beautifully, small aim is a crime. Now, when we say small aim, doesn't mean small in terms of targets. And big doesn't mean the huge targets. That is only quantitative, that one may have. But what is important is the intent. One may have a huge goal, target-wise. But if it is only for I, me and myself, is it big or is it small? It is still small. the impact of our work on people. What difference do we make? What is the quality of our attitude? How selfless it is? How much it is in the attitude that I am here to make a difference, I'm here to serve, I'm here to let go of my ego. That makes it big. And so many great masters, they have lived like that. Dr. Abdul Kalam's life itself, if you see, dedicated completely to the country. Came from such humble backgrounds, rose up to become the president, the missile man of India, such great accomplishments in the same system, which others find it difficult to even survive in that. Being in that same system, the vision that he had for the country, for the youth is amazing. So that is called thinking big, where one thinks beyond oneself for the people, for the country, for the youth, for the development. So in the Gita, the word Parth means that one who aspires for the highest is called Parth, who doesn't settle down for the ordinary. Mediocre, chalta hai. Arjun, he did not choose the army of Bhagavan Krishna. What did he choose? Krishna Bhagavan himself. If you see management-wise, that decision is a very, imperfect decision, because he already has less resources. He has only 7 Akshavini and Kauravas have 10 Akshavinis. Bhagavan has given him the choice. You can take my Narayani Sena, 1 Akshavini, or you can take me, but I will not lift weapons. Anybody who is a management expert would choose what? 1 Akshavini Sena, straight, it is no-brainer. But for Arjun, it is no-brainer that I will choose Krishna. And did it not make the whole difference? The Pandavas won the war because of Krishna Bhagavan. Bhagavan did not lift a weapon, but they still won the war with that less resources. Because he knew the value of the Lord. He was surrendered, he was dedicated, he aspired for the highest, he didn't settle down for anything less. And so higher the vision is, greater is the inspiration. So with what vision do I work? Why do I want to become a CA? Why do I want to increase my business? Why do I want to take up more and more assignments? One of the things Mukesh Bhai was saying was that the life becomes so hectic is because the work-life balance also is not there. Sometimes, yes, audit, when the, what do you say, in October you have to submit, no? Due dates. Those times, of course, it becomes very hectic, but at other times, what is my balance in life? That balance is very, very important. Otherwise, I may become successful in a profession, but are we not seeing so many doctors telling people, sir, you have to make lifestyle changes. Medicines will not work. You have to learn to sleep at least 7 hours. And people are not sleeping. The mic has suddenly become active. Is mic sound balance not there here? So work-life balance has to happen. So why am I doing what I am doing? That clarity one must have. That's where spirituality comes in. Because otherwise one looks at the society and the pressure is so high that this person is doing this much, that person is going on a vacation for 5 days to Thailand. I can't afford to go to Chennai also, and I can't afford to go here and there. I need to reach that status. When one goes there, then one finds that somebody else is going somewhere else. It just keeps on going on. So I have to anchor within. And the higher the vision I have, the greater it will become for us. We have 3 equipments: body, mind, and intellect. 3 of them were symbolic of that. And when 3 of them are not aligned or synced in with each other, then no matter how much we have ambition, goals, we do hard work, we may get some results also, but we still feel empty. When these come into alignment, then along with the success, we also experience fulfillment, happiness. So that art of aligning the body, mind, intellect is what spiritual knowledge is all about. Many times our mind is not where our hands are. Our mind is in one place, our hands are in some other place. So right now we are sitting here, but maybe one may be thinking that when I go home, this particular web series I have to watch, and tonight I have to finish it. Maybe I have to do binge watching tonight. I hope this Swamiji finishes fast and on time. So the mind may be thinking, sitting here physically, but the mind is already gone to home. One is resting on the couch and happily enjoying. So what helps us to align this body, mind, intellect? That is the second point, which is in line with my Swadharma. H is for the highest goal. I is for in line with my Swadharma. What am I really made for? The work that I'm doing, do I feel the full involvement? Or I'm doing it just because I have to earn a living? Do I feel joy? Do I feel satisfaction? I'm serving the client. I'm making a difference. I'm trying to see that things are in a righteous way, done properly, within the legal framework, all that. So does my work bring that satisfaction to me? What people say, no, do what you love and love what you do. In the Gita, Bhagavan says, Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. To die in one's own Swadharma is better than imitating somebody else and doing what we are not made for. Many times it happens that people become CAs, not because they want to become CA, but because family wants. हमारे खानदान में आज तक कोई सीए नहीं हुआ, तू पहला है जो बन के दिखाएगा, कुल का दीपक. And then the next child, तुम्हारा भाई भी सीए है, अब तुम भी सीए बनोगे. अरे, continuously then family of CAs only. My sister is a CA by choice, but the point is that if one has done with choice, one feels that yes, this is what I want to do. I feel good, I feel happy, and in this profession, then there is alignment. And that alignment is very important, because if that is not there, one may achieve success, but there will be a lot of frustration. One of the main reasons why so much conflict happens in life is that. Here are two examples. Do you know him? What was he? Successful tennis player. When we were in school, we used to see him playing, and he used to wear the cap ulta and with one earring, And he married whom? Steffi Graf. She is also a very successful tennis player. But what does he write about tennis? You see, I play tennis for a living, even though I hate tennis, hate it with a secreting whole life to something that you hate. Sheer practice, just by practice, you become successful. Every day, 25,000 balls. Now he has to play. In the beginning, it was because the family was in debt, and his father was an Iranian boxer, and father put him in tennis because more money there. But once the family is out of debt, he can choose to change. 2 times. So he didn't change. He continued whole life. This is written in his autobiography called Open. And then you have another contrasting example is Sachin. When he retired, what did he say? I don't play for records. I love cricket. Last 24 years have been really special for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed my joyful journey. Here in Wankhede, when he retired, what did he do? He walked up to that pitch, bowed down there. And then these are words he said, last 24 years have been very really special for me, because one enjoys every moment. And even about him, I don't know if you are aware, he was training to be a bowler first in Dennis Lilly Academy in Chennai. And Dennis Lilly told him, no, you are going to succeed better as a batsman. Shifted. And here one is such a great successful person. So in line with my Swadharma, if I do things, then that emptiness, hollowness, wondering why I'm doing all this, why should I go through so much pressure, why should I follow ethics, the people are not following, let me compromise, all those questions will go. That clarity is very, very important. So being in line with Swadharma. So basically he speaks about how people, the research which was done, the regret is not what they have done, the regret is about what they have not done. They have missed out opportunities. And he gives a lot of nice examples that the plane is most at threat, not in the air, but on the ground, because the plane is meant to fly. And if it remains on the ground, it will rust and it will malfunction. So people think that more and more the plane is in the air, then it is more and more risky, and accident and anything can happen. But the fact is, the more it remains on the ground, it is risky. So he says that so many things one has not done in life, where the risk one has not taken, one has not gone out of comfort zone, one has not tried something new, that destroys the potential in us. And spirituality is to help us to do all that, to break out of our inhibitions. So one is profession aspect. In that, how much I can become more competent, more successful, more selfless. And the other is, as an individual, what have I done to become a better person, overcoming my fears, my insecurities. That is what is the balance that one has to strike. So I is in line with Swadharma and my dharma. So there may be somebody who is anchoring in Swadharma. Like see, Duryodhana also is Kshatriya, Arjuna also is Kshatriya. Both are anchored in Swadharma, but Duryodhana is not anchored in Dharma. So I may do what I am made for, but I may do it with unethical practices and principles. Anchoring in Dharma is very, very important. So Dharma is duty, righteousness, values, ethics. And if these things are not followed, it will lead to a lot of confusion and chaos in individual life also and in the collective life also. Don't we see that happening? So many multi-crore scams that happen. Many times who are held responsible for it, the person who has done that fraud is there, but the auditor and those firms are also held responsible or not. Why? Because somewhere there would have been some compromise from both sides. And then the individual also goes through suffering and the society also goes through. Why? Because dharma was not practiced. So it's very important that one anchors in dharma. There may be very different situations where one feels that, if I don't do, somebody else will do this. So I have to compromise. I will be replaced. Ye sab chalta hai, ye to it's a part of the game. But then there is consequences to pay for it. No, Swami, jab pakda jayenge tab dekhenge, tab tak to sab achhe se chal raha hai na. There's the argument that people give. So the question is, we follow dharma for whose sake? See, this may sound theoretical, but it has a lot of practical implications, and we have to see the big picture. We can't go by immediate gratification alone. In Mahabharata, this very powerful instance comes where Yudhishthir is being fired by all the 4 Pandavas and Draupadi when they are in the forest, when they lose in the second game of dice and they have to go to forest. So when they are in the forest, as soon as they reach there, they left the city, etc., and they have come into the forest. Bhim is angry, Arjun is angry, Draupadi scolds Yudhishthir saying, are you even a man? Does your blood not boil? Why are you following these conditions, that were laid for the dice? And you have accepted now that we have to be in forest for 12 years and 1 year of incognito, and there if they are exposed, then again the cycle will repeat. Are you not a man? And in that, are you not a Kshatriya? Go and fight and kill this, Kauravas. And they have insulted me and my honor has been, I was so, in public, I was dishonored like that. And still you have accepted their conditions. And Arjun, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev, Draupadi, everybody, they fire him like anything. He's sitting, he's listening to everybody patiently. At the end of it, he says one thing. He says, I follow dharma for my sake, not for their sake. Simple point he said, but very, very powerful. Is it not because Yudhishthir followed Dharma that Krishna Bhagavan was on their side? The theme of Mahabharata is Yato Dharmaha Tato Krishna, Yato Krishna Tato Jayaha. Where there is Dharma, there is Bhagavan. Where there is Bhagavan, there is victory. Full stop. That strength comes when person follows righteousness. And some people think that, we will be left behind in the competition, in the financial position, etc. Maybe, but goodwill one has developed. There is no fear. One sleeps peacefully. One is not carrying a burden in one's heart that there is something I have done which is wrong. Knowingly I have done. So the disintegration that we saw is one of the reasons is this. I know what is wrong, but my mind doesn't want to follow that, and I still end up doing the wrong. Everybody knows that alcohol is bad, but have we not normalized it? And for everything they practice, I say that people follow samatva yoga in alcohol. In happiness also they drink, in misery also they drink. If they are lonely also they drink, if they are with people also they drink. How pathetic is that? Already gray matter in the brain is less, and alcohol destroys that gray cells. It is proven scientifically, but still one drinks. So many practices one does, one knows they are wrong, but one still does it. That's where Ratnakar's example comes, because we have to face the consequences of our karma. Nobody else will face. We think, "Arey, hum sabne saath milke kiya." Who is the main person? That person has to face the whole thing alone. That time nobody will come to our rescue. When Ratnakar asked his family, "I'm doing all this for you, will you help? Will you share the sin?" What did they say? "We will not. You have to do it by yourself." What did he feel at that point in time? He felt, if my karma I have to only face, why am I doing this? See, this point, if it goes deep into my mind, ethics have a place only because of karma. If karma does not work, ethics there's no use of ethics. And people think that karma does not work. It's only a theory cooked up by the Hindus. Karma is cause and effect. Whether you believe it or not, it will work. And we see so many people at such top positions, they go and then they get stuck. Entire lifetime's hard work is finished in one experience. I forget the name of that person, gentleman. Rajat, somebody in America. Rajat Gupta, na? McKinsey. Dream life, huh? And for insider trading, he was caught, jailed. Now, why? Because the mind feels at certain position when I have got, I can get away with anything. Or this much I can do, nobody will notice. That is the trick the mind plays. If one knows that my karma I have to face, there is nobody else with me. What did Ratnakar go and tell Naradji? Did he say, "Naradji, let us strike a deal. Whatever I am doing, uska 2% आपके आश्रम को CSR में हम दे देंगे. ले जाओ. Corporate social responsibility." He didn't say that. What did he say? He said, "Please teach me how do I transform myself. I want to move from adharma to dharma." And there he became from Ratnakar to Valmiki. So that if one remembers that I must follow my swadharma and I must be anchored in dharma. So dharma gives us that inner strength, harmony, peace, happiness. And we set good examples for our children, the next generation, and we leave the world in a better place. Otherwise, the world we came into, when we leave, we are leaving it much more corrupt. What will the next generation do? Will they be happy with this kind of a world? So that is something that one has to think, and these things only individually it has to happen. If somebody says, "Swamiji, let everybody change, I will also change," it will not work. You change and then the world around will change. Now here I am quoting somebody who is a corporate trainer, very successful person. I don't know if you know him, very, very popular, Simon Sinek. He's a motivational speaker in the corporate world, trains lots of companies. Beautiful line he said, you see, it is better to endure the discomfort of the truth now than to suffer the discomfort of the lie later. Very powerful words these are. Success must be dharmic. If that is not dharmic, it will lead to a lot of problems. It just postpone trouble. And that when it comes postponed, it comes with much more force. So if there is a conflict between dharma and adharma, the wise person will choose dharma, even if it appears to be a decision which is, a loss-making decision. Dharma, when one chooses, it will never be a loss. Adharma, how much ever profitable it appears, will always be landing us in trouble. So H is for highest goal, I is for in line with Swadharma and Dharma, G is for greater fortitude. When we have higher goals, when we want to achieve great things, it will also bring great obstacles on the way. It's not easy. But when those obstacles come, the fortitude is important. That is called dhriti, the ability not to give up. Because obstacles, when they come, people get scared, and when we stop, there is no goal worth achieving where there are no obstacles on the way. One has to face those obstacles. How will one face? The motivation comes from my conviction that why I want that higher goal, why that is important to me. Once I'm convinced that this is important, then I will do what it requires. So have faith in yourself, have faith in the higher. Here right now, I can't show that video, but maybe later on you can check on the YouTube. There's a beautiful video of Jack Ma and how much he failed. 10 times he applied for Harvard and he was rejected. 30 job interviews, he was rejected. When he started Alibaba, he borrowed money, he started Alibaba, and for 3 years he didn't make profits. And people did not believe in him when he said, I'm going to start on internet and I'm going to start, the sale on the internet. People can place orders and we will deliver. People didn't believe him. They ridiculed him. They said, who will invest here? And no one investor from different people. He collected small amounts and he started. But he built a whole system. And he says that I learned, and I used to continuously learn new things, new ideas. I used to experiment, and I did not allow failure to dampen my spirits. And what he achieved. Why? Because he was clear what he has to do. And one thing very nicely he says, don't follow money, follow people. Because when people come, money will come. So he says, you serve. Lot of those things, if you see, they all are spiritual principles, beautifully applied. So many people think that these principles, which we say they are spiritual principles, they are not applicable in the corporate world, but they are actually applicable. Stephen Covey, when he came to Mumbai many years ago, in Oberoi, he had, the 8th habit. He had written the 8th habit, and he had one big seminar there. At that time, one seat there was 25,000 rupees, some almost 15, 18 years back. And one of the things he said, this person who attended that event, he came and told me, because I was doing Gita classes for them, the top corporate person, he said, Swamiji, we attended that. And he presented nicely, but one thing he said at the end was like a slap on our face. He said, I am stunned that all of you are sitting here and listening to me with such rapt attention, as though I am telling you something new. But let me tell you, a lot of this the 8th habit, a lot of inspiration of it has come from your Bhagavad Gita. He said that. And they write those principles which are there in the Gita, presented very beautifully. That credit we should definitely give them, because very effectively they present it and impactfully. But that's where it is. So you see the video of Jack Ma, find on this thing, you will find. I will send it by email also, then you can circulate. So when you see this picture, what comes to your mind? puja, yajna, ritual. Anything else? Fire, energy, prayer, ahutis. Do we ever connect this with any corporate world? In the Gita, Bhagavan says, what is yajna? It is teamwork. What was a yajna? People come together for a common selfless cause, sinking their differences, bringing whatever they can. Cooperatively, they work in harmony for a common goal. That is yajna bhavana. And dedicated for not individual benefit, for society. Everyone works with that yajna spirit. So that is called the yajna bhavana, and working together as a team. So that is the next point to understand, and that is H is for a happy team. Can individual alone achieve everything? Even when we have CA firms, there are so many people working or not. And there are so many hierarchies. There are interns who are working and who will go and do the basic checking of the books and records and everything. Then there are people up the ladder continuously. So it's a whole team which will work. Again, spirituality is to help us to understand this, how to work in a team. Because one of the biggest problems is people are individual players. They don't want to work in teams. And the fact is, everywhere we have to work in teams. In a family, is there an individual? Other day, somebody had shared the video with me. They said, if you are ready to allow 50% of control of your life with somebody else, decision making by somebody else, then only you should marry. So when you marry, then from your 100% decision, it becomes 50%. Then if you have one child, from that 33, then you have another child. Then that child gets married. Then that child has a wife. So by the time you become old and your child has married, your control and decision making is hardly 5-7%. At that time, still you don't want to let go and you want to control, then you will have all kinds of fights and problems. So better, our culture said, Vanaprastha, become Vanaprasthi. Start training your child when he is 35 or 5-10 years. Our Shastra says very clearly, when the first grandchild is 10 years old, Tata bye-bye to the family, go. Now withdraw and say, Bhagwan, I am dedicated only to you because baki sab jagah se mera control chhoot gaya. How much control we will want for how much time? People are dying. They are on the deathbed but not ready to leave. Still the chabi is there here only. And that daughter-in-law goes on saying, when the chabi will come to me? How sad is that? So one doesn't want. At home there is a team, at work there is a team, in the society there is a team. Here also this whole program has happened because there is a team. There's a president, there's a secretary, there is such a huge team. Then only the work will happen. But teamwork, does anybody teach? At least in our school, till when I was studying, so they only give projects. And in that project, they think that people will come together and work. But they don't teach how to work together. And people have fights, conflicts, how to resolve, how to forgive. None of that. So togetherness is the strength. And that's what Stephen Covey says, neither dependence nor independence, but interdependence. Again, there's another nice video about, in Chak De, India, there's a beautiful scene where Shah Rukh Khan is the coach, the hockey coach and national hockey coach. And every person there, when he goes there, each person is saying, I am from Tamil Nadu, I am from Kerala, I am from Madhya Pradesh, I am from Himachal. And he rejects all of them. Then somebody says, I am from India. Then he says, say loudly, what? He says, I am from India. He says, that is what I can hear. I can't hear names of states. So if you are here for India, then you stay here and work for India, not for the states, not for the railway flat or not for anything else. So that if one remembers that what is my purpose, then that will happen. The teamwork will be there together when there's common purpose and everybody aligns to that, works for that common purpose. What is our common purpose if one works as a CA, what do you think can be the common purpose? Nation building? Okay. But do you believe in that, or you are saying because it is supposed to be nation building? Transparency. Okay. All of you, I'm sure, have already thought about it. You have been working for so many years. What do you think is the purpose, at least from what your experience says? Bring forth the truth. So that is a very important purpose. Bring forth the truth. And then if that happens, then we create a society which is based on truth. And what is false has to get exposed and punished. Today I was taking Bhagavad class in the morning. In that Raja Prithu, it is said about him that he is a great king because those who are adharmic are punished in his kingdom. Those who are dharmic are encouraged in his kingdom. That's a simple line there. But so many places ulta only happens. No? Adharmic forces get away. Dharmic forces are scared. So happy team means that when alignment happens to the main purpose. So H is for highest goal. I is for in line with Swadharma and Dharma. G is for greater fortitude. H is for a happy team. E is for excellence plus expertise plus efficiency is effectiveness. What is excellence? It's the attitude of the mind to achieve without compromise the knowledge, the skill, the specific domain of mind. And then efficiency is the application of excellence and expertise in action. Then there is effectiveness. This is from the Gita, where Bhagavan says, Karmasu, with our potential. It will ensure that what we know, how we feel, what we do is in alignment. So excellence to efficiency, one of the things that is important in this is to do one thing at a time. So excellence is about the quality, expert is the skill, and efficiency is the application, what we discussed. So this happens when we learn to do everything with focus. Many people encourage this multitasking. They write in their resume, I'm a multitasker. I'm very good at multitasking. But today it is proved that multitasking is a myth. It is not real. It is because there's nothing called multitasking. There is only switch tasking. If I'm seeing the TV and eating food, I am switching my attention between seeing and eating. If I'm putting on the music and doing something, my attention will switch. Now something goes on in the background and it motivates me to perform better. So music is actually one exception to multitasking. But other things, the mind will keep switching. And so it is that it is said here that do one thing at a time. Anything less than full attention is simply irresponsible. And psychology proves that 3 hours of multitasking is equal to 1 hour of focus. We don't save time at all. We think that we save time. We actually spend more time, we have more error, and we enjoy less. Think about it, if you enjoyed your ice cream just by yourself versus eating that ice cream while watching something, which one will have a better experience? When you enjoy by yourself. So that's why it is, one should ask oneself, what are the tasks that I'm doing simultaneously? And resolve that I can do one by one. At least one task in a day that you have been doing as a multitasking, stop that. Suppose you are eating food, always watching television. Maybe if you are doing that 3 times a day, at least do one meal have without any distraction. Other 2, okay, you watch still. You will see the difference slowly. Today, so there are such dangerous things people do. Putting on the Bluetooth headphone and then they are talking and they are driving the vehicle. Baapre. No, Swamiji, we are expert drivers. And one little error in judgment. And are those conversations always objective conversations? Sometimes one is fighting on the phone aggressively and loses control on the car. Finished. One will land up in trouble. Somebody else also lands up in trouble. So eat while you eat, drive without distraction, work with focus. So many people, if you see their computer when they are working, chat window is coming up, email is coming up, some internet thing is coming up, and something keeps on happening. And in between that, they are doing some work and shifting between this document, that process, this printing, that thing. How will one do? Psychologically also, we spend more time. So exercise with attention. It is said, those who exercise with focus on the breath, they burn more fat percentage. Do you know that? It's very interesting. People say, no, I'm going to sweat it out and, exercise. Where does the fat go when you exercise? How do you reduce the fat percentage? It goes out through urine. It goes out through the sweat and it comes out through the air we breathe. Maximum comes out through the air we breathe. So that person said that if you focus on the breathing and make that breathing deeper, you will burn more fat. And actually, when you do exercise, you're supposed to pay attention to which part of the body is getting exercise. So if I'm lifting weights, and if my biceps, triceps, I'm trying to, shape them, my mental attention has to be on that. It's actually a proper system of focusing on the breath and the body while doing the exercise. So the mind is occupied, breath is occupied, body is occupied, alignment will happen. So we put on the music and happily we are jogging away or walking. And people, many times if you see, they have groups, walking groups. Happily they are walking, talking casually, morning walk, nothing will happen with that. Only walking, general walking we are doing. No exercise benefit will come. Because for that you have to maintain a certain speed. Focus on the breathing. So exercise with attention, stop notifications on the computer, all these things. Again, there's a video I'll have to skip. So Swami Tejomayananji says, few people are tired of work, majority is tired by the very thought of work. Itna kaam baki hai. Chalo chai pe ke aate hain. Why people have Monday morning blues? After finishing their relaxation in the weekend, now they have Monday morning blue. Why? Kitna kaam hai. And then one is waiting for weekend. When will weekend come? When will weekend come? Because the thought of work only tires. If a person loves their job, thought of work will not tire. Swami Chinmayananji used to work 18 to 20 hours a day. And he spoke on the Gita for 42 years every evening. He never got tired of speaking on the Gita. And nobody had to tell him, come on, Swamiji, you can do it today. You can go on the stage and you can kill it. Come on, do it. No need of any extra motivation, nothing. Happily he goes. Why? Because he's inspired by that work. The thought of work doesn't tire. Thought of work inspires. Why do we get tired? Because our energy is gone in the past and the future. Where are we here? Who teaches us to be in the present? Spiritual knowledge teaches us. Be here and now. So many places, all these things, are applications of spirituality in simple ways in our daily life. Professional life also will become more happier and satisfying. So be in the moment. How do we do that? So many techniques. Learn to do deep breathing. Like we have a coffee break, one can take a breath break or a mantra break. Every 1 hour, sit for 1 minute quietly and just focus on the breathing. It will relax the body. It will improve the efficiency. When our eyes are open, the entire body is in alert mode. Just closing the eyes, even if you don't do any deep breathing, just close the eyes for half a minute or 1 minute. Whole body system will relax. It's so powerful. And if one does every 1 hour, if you are working 18 hours, already you got 18 minutes of rest while working. And you see the efficiency will also increase. When the mind is disturbed, invoke logical brain first, this frontal lobe. So psychologically, they say amygdala hijack happens, and so we should learn to invoke the frontal lobe. So do anything which will be logical, or count from 50 to 1, do some Sudoku, any logical puzzle you solve. Tell yourself Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Quieten the mind when it is disturbed. Don't ask why this happened to me. Always ask how to face. Spirituality tells us that how to face this situation. Why this happened? This should not have happened to me. I don't like it. I resist it. It has happened. Now, why it happened, I can analyze objectively later if I have to learn from it. But if I resist, I'm creating more disturbance. So there are so many of these methods. Practice meditation, apply music to learn to quieten the mind, be in the here and now. That will increase our efficiency. Last alphabet is R, is for the result. Swamiji, everything is for the result. Bottom line, what is it called? In balance sheet, what is the... No, I forget. Is the profit? Not net profit.
After EBITDA, that's this. EBITDA is one before tax and depreciation, but after the last result is profit after tax.
Profit after tax. So everything is meant for that result only. What spirituality tells us? Detached engagement. We expect a result and work hard. Do you believe Gita says that you work but you have no right to results? Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. A lot of people quote. Karm karne ka aapka adhikar hai, phal par aapka koi adhikar nahi hai. Will anybody do action without wanting result? क्यों कर रहे हो? बस कर रहे हैं स्वामी जी. क्या प्राप्त करना है पता नहीं. Just कर रहे हैं. After you leave from this place, where will you go? Are you clear or not? नहीं स्वामी जी हम चलेंगे. कहीं ना कहीं तो पहुंच जाएंगे. Does anybody say that? Nobody says that. Did Krishna Bhagwan fight the Mahabharat war saying chalo jo jeetega dekha jayega? Or did he have a proper focus? Ki dharma has to win. His purpose of avatar is what? Chalo sair karke aayenge. Yada yadai dharmasya glane bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyam. He came to restore dharma. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Will that Bhagwan tell ki are tum karm karo par phal ki chinta mat karo? No, expect a result and work hard, but also learn to accept the results. That is what spiritual life is. Do the best and leave the rest. So be focused on the process, but don't get anxious about the result. That is a very, very important aspect. So much of anxiety today is because of attachment to result. How many young people get into drugs, suicide, depression? Why? Result didn't come. One defines one's life with the results. What Vedanta tells us, let your actions define your life, not your results. Because results are byproduct of action. Which is better, action or result? Action is the cause, result is the effect. Result is a byproduct actually. Am I focused more on the process or on the effect and the byproduct? Even if I did not get the result that I want, have I not grown as a person? Have I not learned so many things? Am I not wiser than before? How can I say that everything went for a waste just because a result, particular result did not come? That is our limited thinking. This is how spirituality broadens our vision. And do you know, maximum growth happens because people fail. You do the research, you see the research on Google, is very amazing. When people become successful, there are more chances of taking a back seat and becoming complacent. But when they fail, they start finding out, why did I fail? What went wrong? How can I improve? What can I do differently? So their mind is more active when they fail. And one interesting research is, if you fail often, and if you make that failure as a part of your life, failure will stop affecting you anymore. And that is why it is very important that if from childhood, when someone fails, they should not be condemned, or they should not be told that they are dumb. They should be taught, how much did you learn from it? And you failed, so what? A small child falls. Does one condemn the child? What does the child do? One gets up, starts walking. It is normal, no? So many times we make mistakes in life, we will fail. So what? But how much we have made, the premium on success we have given is so much more, and the stigma associated with failure is so high that people are scared to fail. So they don't take risks. They don't want to do things. They do not explore, because the fear of failure, so much fear of failure is there inside. So many people will not attempt for the second time because first time they have failed. Once in a relationship heartbroken, then my trust in love has shaken up. I don't have any faith anymore. I can't love anybody anymore. Why? One person broke your heart. Such a brittle heart you have that you cannot trust anybody anymore. At that moment, one feels sad, one has certain emotional reactions, but get over it. But how much one does? Same way in career, same way in school, same way in marks, everywhere. Everybody teaches us how to aspire for success. Nobody teaches how to face failure. And failure does not mean I am a failure. Today, people brand themselves and talk to others also like that. You are a loser. What do you mean you are a loser? Why? Because they say you are a winner, you are a loser. What does Vedanta tell us? Be balanced in success and failure. Because success does not make you any greater and failure does not make you any lesser, inferior. But that's where it is. That's why I say spiritual knowledge is so important. Because if we learn all these things in childhood, how much more equipped we are. Failure has become a part of life. So what if I failed? Okay. No stigma associated, just a normal event. How we eat food daily. It is just a part of daily life, no? We get up in the morning, we eat food, we take bath, we brush our teeth, we go to work, we travel, we drive. So normal it is. Failure also has to become normalized. It's a part of life. It will happen. That if we learn, so much more we can achieve in life, and real exploration of life can happen only then. Otherwise, like he said, that video he was saying, the regret is not what they have done, but the regret is what is not done. And how much parents are protective about children. No, why do you want to take that? What if you fail? Where is your stability in career? All that one thinks, no? Let them make their mistakes. No, what is wrong? So accept the results with humility, contentment, and cheerfulness. So what are the 6 things? H for highest goal. I for in line with Swadharma and Dharma. G for greater fortitude. H for happy team. E for excellence, efficiency. R for result acceptance. These things, if we learn, that's how we practice spirituality in our professional life, right from setting goal to the process, to the result, to the acceptance. The entire process, if we learn, spiritual life has so much to contribute to make us successful and happy. That example of Mr. Ajay Piramal was where he sold one part of his business to the multinational Abbott, and he did the whole negotiation by himself. There was no arbitrator, anybody with him. And in the last, they were pressing him to, give some more. The negotiations are happening. And he says that he was not desperate. He knew that if it has to happen, it will happen. So he was very detached. And that clinched the deal. Anybody else in that place would have accepted those conditions that the team from Abbott was offering, was asking. He didn't accept. He said, if it has to, it will happen. I am not giving anything more. And that is the time we were doing this verse of Gita, Karmanyevadhikaraste, 2010. He applied it straight. And he said, that is what helped me, the attitude of detached engagement. So I'm going to conclude with this formula of how do we achieve excellence. We saw we have to align the body, mind, intellect. So every day, can you spare 1 hour for yourself? T20 is the formula. 20 minutes exercise, 20 minutes meditation, 20 minutes of study of some psychological books, self-help books, scriptural books to empower the intellect. If I empower my body, mind, intellect, I align myself, then whatever I do will be excellent and I will achieve success and happiness. Thank you very much. Chinmayamission.com is our main website. Mumbai.com is the website for Mumbai programs. And if you want to follow me on all these, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, my handle is Chinmaya Shivam. Thank you.
I think we have time for 1 or 2 questions in case if anybody has questions, but not more than 2 for sure. So I leave the floor open. I know Swamiji is so empowering, and anybody who has done certain courses with him would realize that this is not a lecture. This is not a sermon. This is something which you get as a very rare pearl of wisdom, where you dive into your own self to realize what is it that one really has to explore to get that peace, tranquility, and happiness for which we are all born as humans. Very unconsciously, by some stroke of providence, spirituality was actually demonstrated and practiced during this 1.5 hours, as you might have observed. Because this is about accepting things, accepting that there could be challenges, there could be cacophony of different sounds that trouble you, to get into different directions. And sound was real because there were multiple sounds. But what did Swamiji do? He accepted it with grace, and by some very strange coincidence, this transcended and permeated in every soul and body sitting here. Nobody was agitated. Everybody, instead of looking at the fault, was looking at how they could probably be a part of the solution. I believe this is the ultimate spirituality that we are talking about. Before I request Chirag for a formal vote of thanks, we have one very nice practice of an instant photograph. I know instant is not something which spirituality talks about, but this is a memory only. And may I ask Govind, our HRD committee chairman, to present it to Swamiji. May I ask Mukesh Trivedi to give a formal vote of thanks? I must mention here, Mukesh has been a pillar of strength, not because he's just a friend of mine, but for this entire exercise, once Gracie really, volunteered, Mukesh has been at the backbone. He has been, the person who has been coordinating. And thank you, Mukesh, for all your help.
Family of Bombay Charitable Society and Chinmaya Mission. We have so many members of the family from both the sides, and it is so encouraging that you have all been here. You will be knowing that this is the most auspicious week which is going on, Ashadhi Ekadashi to tomorrow being the Guru Purnima. One of the finest period when we should have more and more learning of the spiritual learning. And at that time, we have had this beautiful session on profession, spirituality for the profession. Swamiji has just given us a very small capsule, but it is so powerful, and at the same time, so much reflecting over each slide. And higher and T20, if we remember these two words, I'm sure that we are going to carry home wonderful lessons of the life. Swamiji, I just read in the morning one beautiful sentence. It said, speak only when it adds value to the silence. And we all are having that tranquil silence within after having heard him. So what should I say? Friends, another beautiful thing that I learned is that gratitude is what? When memory is stored in the heart and not in the mind. So, Swamiji, we are extremely grateful for really enlightening us with so many insights. Indeed, I have had the privilege, and so many of our BCA members have had the privilege to have the journey with you. And we are finding ourselves also that, yes, there is some change within. It's a baby step, but definitely it is on a positive directions. Friends, let us all rise from our seat to express our sincere gratitude to Puja Swamiji for wonderful session.
Wonderful opportunity. And as he said, this is the first experience I'm having where I'm listening to my voice back. One advantage of that as advice, it is said when you listen to the Katha of Punya, now you have
Friends, I have just missed to put important announcements about the programs conducted by BCAS. Tomorrow, for the students, there is a very important program on filing of returns, income tax returns, because now the season is of the filing of the return. Yeah, it's for members only. Yeah. So at that, we have Jankana Thakkar and Utsav Shah who are going to guide us through what are the intricacies and how we should take the precautions filing the return and all. Then the International Tax Conference is to start from 4th of September or 4th of August till 7th of August. Tree plantation. Swamiji, you will be happy to know that under the Human Resource Committee and all, every year there is a program of various types of charitable or philanthropic activity. One of the program is that in the scarcity of the place of Dharampur area, regularly we have been having the plantation of the tree. And thanks to Rashmin Bhai, who has been our most inspiring person, that this particular program is happening. So it is on 13th and 14th of August. And workshop on process automation under GST is on the 10th of September. With this, friends, I would also like to express sincere thanks to each one of you who have been present here in person, as well as those who are online attending this particular. And today the tone is set for the whole year, where the spirituality will be in the center and all the activities will be carried over. Let us wish everyone all the best to the new team and have a wonderful time. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.